You are listening to the Spine Whisperers podcast. Please know that our doctors are here to only educate, not diagnose on this podcast. If you have any questions, please feel free to find us at www.mfwellness.org. Spine Whisperer podcast, it's Bookmobile time. Currently, we have Kristen Cento, Dr. Brad Maurer, Andrea Nolan, myself, Dr. Matthew Fink, and we have some questions about a certain bookmobile.
We're always trying to find fun, new, exciting things in the community, and I think the bookmobile definitely qualifies.
You probably have noticed that Dr. Josh isn't with us.
How can you tell? How can you tell?
We wanted to give Kristen a chance to relax, and Dr. Josh is so excited about this bookmobile. He's taking one for the team by not being here, so thank you, Dr. Josh. We appreciate you. Okay, so we have a couple questions for Kristen. Before we start on the long list, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you get into this role?
Well, I was a school teacher for 10 years, and I just really enjoy helping people, and I wanted to get into the library as kind of my happy place. So I've worked at Maclay Branch for 3 years as a circulation supervisor, and now I'm a librarian. So
circulation supervisor, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so, and now the bookmobile is here at St. Charles City County Library, and
what will be your title as?
Bookmobile manager.
Bookmobile manager.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, pleasantries are out of the way. Let's start with the hard-hitting questions. Dr. Brad, you want to go first?
So we've realized that some people have no idea what a bookmobile is. So we feel like we should start with what is a bookmobile and who thought of this great idea?
Well, ever since books have existed, people wanted to get them to readers. So it's a truck, van, trailer that serves as a mobile library. There have been many types throughout history: bicycles, carts, motor vehicles, trains, watercraft, even wagons, camels, donkeys, elephants, horses, and mules. There is even a fictionalized story about the Pack Horse Library Project of Kentucky in the 30s called The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek. I couldn't find a specific inventor, but there have been bookmobile library services in the United States as far back as 1839.
See, that's surprising to me because I didn't know it went back that far.
Yeah, I thought maybe like 1990.
Yeah.
like got invented like 1870s, and it's like, oh, we're gonna really finalize this, but like 1839, like that's pretty awesome.
And all the vehicles, watercraft. I kind of want to see.
But it makes sense.
Is that somewhere along the line, maybe? It'll be going up and down the Missouri River, Mississippi River,
on Lake St. Louis.
Yeah, Lake St. Louis.
Yeah.
Like
pull up to a dock.
Yeah.
It's the book boat. The book boat.
The book boat. Well, let's just take the lakes that people know around here: Lake of the Ozarks and Mark Twain Lake. Obviously, Lake of the Ozarks is pretty huge, but there's such a travel distance, and if people like live kind of like out of the way, like the only way you can get to this place is by boat, I mean, that'd be a great idea. Like have a meeting, like I know that the Lake of the Ozarks, they have a couple places where you actually get together to gas up your boat, but like have that like here, get your gas and get your book.
Maybe one day.
One day. All right, Andrea, what you got?
How do you determine the success of the bookmobile when it does start up? Because you were just telling me, you guys, this is a new bookmobile.
Yeah.
You guys are just starting.
Like just getting loaded tomorrow or this week.
Our materials are coming in the next week. So it's empty right now, just shelves. So, well, I told the other workers, and they said that success means backing out of the garage without hitting anything.
That is great first step.
But truthfully, our success is when we reach new patrons and getting to these places that really have a physical distance from a branch. So Portage-Jesuit used to have a library, but it flooded. And so up in our northern county, there is no real library service for those folks. So
you guys just said, load up the van. Right?
Yep. Yeah, let's do this.
And you were talking before, you mentioned backing out, but seriously, you've had training, right? You and a couple other people have had to have a couple people come in and train you on how to drive the vehicle. Because how long is it? You said how?
It's 32 foot.
Yeah.
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 Diesel RV is kind of the setup. So yeah, it really is. We're thinking 3,000 pieces of material is what we hope to get on there.
So how much will the weight change when you? So let's talk about that for a second.
We actually did that with our RV trainer.
Okay.
He was really wants that piece in our minds to help us understand. So we did weigh it beforehand, and we're going to weigh it after. So I might have to report back to you.
We have an estimation, right? So like if
I don't know,
books, magazine. I mean,
I can't imagine.
I think the really cool thing too regarding like how do you gauge your success is that the fact that people are really like everybody that we've mentioned about the Bookmobile, like no one knows that you're kind of like heading the group, but like everyone that we've talked about book is like, I remember the Bookmobile. There's a couple like never heard of it, but like that's maybe 3 to 5%, and like everybody else is like, I remember the Bookmobile. I remember this time I got this book and it really, I love that genre, or I just can't wait to see the amount of happy faces and smiling people that talk about it.
If you're a 90s kid, you remember the Bookmobile.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then one of our other questions is, where has it been?
I believe that the equipment just got old, and so in the 90s, they just said, we're going to spend our money on the physical branches, and it kind of got out of vogue, but now it's nostalgic and cool again. So
there's a lot of different things coming back from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, people really like that. So, and like you said, everyone I've talked to, they're just so excited, and even when we were out practicing driving, they've just been coming right up to it.
Books in
what
the
day? And I, check out our website. So
yeah. Is the Bookmobile only for kids?
No way.
Awesome.
No way.
That's what I like to hear.
Because most of our listeners are probably I don't know the age range, but
so
over
we
18.
I think the Bookmobile people remember is the one that went to their school. And we are using school parking lots because they're nice and flat and big, but the Bookmobile is going to have materials for all ages on it, and it's for anyone that wants to come by and visit. So come and see me.
Would you have to have a designating parking spot for the Bookmobile if you decide like, hey, you've been selected as a site for the Bookmobile to come hang out? Like an open book on the parking lot? Wouldn't that be awesome? You get your own designation.
Spray, paint the spot where we're going to be. That would be neat, but we're sharing the space. So everyone's being really great about sharing their parking lots.
And so you mentioned school parking lots are going to be a primary spot.
Yeah.
Are there some specifics in terms of locations that you can give at this point in time?
Yeah,
like, where can people expect to be like, oh my gosh, there's the Bookmobile?
Yeah, so some of the Wentzville elementaries are pretty excited. We're going to be at Wabash, Discovery Ridge, and Piney. Mm-hmm. And then the rest are not school parking lots. We're going to Portage de Sioux. We still actually have our parking lot there from where the building was. So that's that location. Flint Hill, we're going to be at the Knights of Columbus Hall.
Yeah.
Josephville, St. Joseph's Catholic Church parking lot. And Forestell is, I didn't know this was Forestell, but Big Creek Church, which is almost to Lincoln County. That's our Saturday stop. It'll be every other Saturday.
And where?
It used to be Cavalry West.
Oh, okay. I know where
that
that
helps.
is. Yeah, near Indian Camp Creek.
Yes,
Park.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
On 61, where you get off from that direction. W.
Yeah.
On W.
Highway W.
Yeah.
That's Dr. Matt's favorite highway, I believe.
It is. Yeah. We love Highway W, and we love Indian Camp Creek.
Yeah.
I need to check it out.
They have a good creek.
How can people get the Bookmobile to come to their community? You mentioned several communities.
Yeah, so right now, we do have like kind of a criteria, which is that all the stops have to be at least 4 miles from a physical branch. So some places that we thought were really good for visibility and all that didn't qualify because they were too close to a branch. So right now you can't actually sign up, but if you meet that criteria of 4 miles from a branch, just send me a message and I will see about adding your town or
maybe
location to a future route.
Maybe people that are listening to the podcast, if they do submit their application or get in contact with the head librarian for the Bookmobile, Kristen Sento, make sure you donate a couple books maybe with the application, if you know what I mean. So who chooses the books that end up on the Bookmobile?
Well, they are working on that right now. So for our opening day collection, we have a team of librarians busy picking out materials that we hope you will like, but
it's like Christmas.
I don't know who's coming. I mean, I'm trying to tell everybody, but I don't know who's going to come. So as we learn what people want, we're going to refill it with what people tell me they want and what I learn from what people check out. So.
And also, as a secondary question, how do you get books by donation, right?
We do take donations,
Okay.
yes.
And then also, there is like a amount of money that goes directly towards purchasing new books or books that are hot right then. So is that kind of like how you get new books in general for the library, or how does that work? I know we didn't really talk about
That's
that.
Okay. So I'll kind of explain. We have two different kind of arms. Our friends of the library, they deal with the donations that we get from people. So those go to actually directly to our book fair. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's funny because that's where we keep the Bookmobile is at Turner Warehouse, where all the books people donate go to. So just in a just warehouse of books all the time.
I love it.
Yeah. And then if you are an author, a local author, we have a application online if you want to submit your book to be in our library.
Okay.
And then money would go through our foundation. And the foundation is actually the arm that group bought the Bookmobile for our library district because it wasn't cheap, I think, from what I hear.
But it's going to be worth it.
I think so. Yeah.
Worth it in the long run.
Yeah, it's really going
And
to
I'm
service a
gonna
lot of people.
come with this question since we're talking about the books that will be on the Bookmobile.
Yeah.
Will you have other items besides books that are available for checkout? And if you do, what will those other items be?
Yeah, so we have a library of things, and it has lots of different unique items. So I actually have a little list that I'm just going to take a peek at here.
A whole bunch
We've
of
got
materials.
really small things are what we're going to start out with on our Bookmobile because it's a limited space. So we're going to start with some disc golf sets and some board games and some launch pads, which are like tablets that kids can check out with preloaded literacy and games and stuff. So those are the little ones that are going to be on there. But one of the cool things is if we don't have it, we can get it for you. So you can place a hold on any item in our collection and we'll bring it to you the next time. It's going to be a 2-week rotation for the stops. And so, the next time it comes to your location, we can bring you whatever you pick out.
And what will people need in order to check out books and other items? Do they need their library card?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
Is that the only thing they need?
Everybody should have a library.
That's
Right.
it.
Just
Okay.
saying.
If you want to take materials home, you just need a library card, but it's free. So
Yeah.
And if you lost yours, which I know people do, you can get a free one.
Dr. Matt's raising
You
his
can
hand.
get another free one and another free one. We're really okay with that. We just want you to come back and use our stuff. So
Well, I have a keychain library card.
Yeah.
So it works. I never lose it.
Is that what you got, Dr. Matt? You switched?
We got a new free library card at the beginning of this school year, not the upcoming school year, and the boys and I would go every Friday and get new books. It was just awesome. It's like, here it is. Here you go.
Yeah.
No big
Never
deal.
lose it.
Yep.
It's fantastic. It's
It
super.
is.
Yep.
If you think it's difficult, it's not. We walked in there, got the library card, put the thing on the keychain, and we checked out books the same day.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's super easy. And it's free.
don't be afraid of a librarian.
As
We just
terrified
want
as
you
it might
to,
be.
just come back. We want
Yeah.
you back. So.
And do we have to be like super quiet on the Bookmobile?
No,
Like the regular
no,
library?
it's not. No, and you don't
Okay.
have to in the regular library anymore.
Oh, you don't?
That's an old thing too.
Yeah.
I did
Really?
not. I did
You-
not know
I'm
that.
always
If you want to
tiptoeing there?
holler, you can holler.
Yeah, the libraries I've been to here lately have been so colorful,
Yeah.
so full of just really cool stuff, like
Yeah.
just new items and
I
things
don't-
that you can check out.
Dr.
Yeah.
Matt's already thinking what he's going to do the next time he goes to the library.
We went to a couple different libraries, but like the ones that I went to, even though it's like do whatever you want, but like it was super quiet and people were being really
I think
respectful.
it's ingrained in
But,
us.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I feel like the older generation will shush the younger ones, but playing is part of literacy and learning.
Yeah,
So
huge deal.
What a wonderful thing to learn. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
But hopefully my boys don't listen to this podcast because they're going to be, shh, quiet, find a book.
Casey said I didn't have to be quiet.
Oh my gosh.
You said you had some training.
Yeah.
And so far you've driven without all the books and everything within it. what all goes into that? Can anybody drive the Bookmobile? I'm sure you have to have certain certification. And
I would like to drive the Bookmobile one day.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
That'd be great.
Well, you'd have to be a library staff member and get a special Class E license.
Oh, okay.
And what is a Class E? Tell me all about the Class E.
E means, honestly, Class E is basically saying that you can drive a vehicle for your business with materials that the business owns on it, like merchandise.
Okay.
Yeah. So we actually purchased a Bookmobile that was under the weight for a CDL license so that we didn't have to get
That's nice.
really special
There
training. But we did get special training because it is still very big
and loaded with books.
Yeah.
So
cumbersome with knowledge.
And I think it's really great.
Nice.
It beeps when it backs up.
Ah, yeah.
You know.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's why you had to get the E license,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
for the beep.
For the beeping. Yeah.
And so, let's say you have a wicked curve or turn. What's going to keep those books on the shelf?
I just ordered 30 bungee cords. We're gonna see.
Ah.
Hopefully, that's all we're gonna need.
I feel like
ratchet
you might need more
straps.
than 30.
Yeah.
Oh, you have ratchet straps.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
awesome.
starter pack.
But that's awesome.
The bungee. That's my bungee cord starter pack.
Progress. We're gonna
It
get
is.
this going and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is there plans in the future to have more than one Bookmobile, or is it kind of like this is where we want to be? One Bookmobile for St. Charles County.
Other Bookmobiles go out every single day. And right now, we're just planning Tuesday, Thursday, every other Saturday. So there's potential for it to run 5 days a week or 6 days a week, but I would need more staff. So we're starting slow because we don't want to add a service and then take it away. So that is we really tried to be mindful and pick places that we think are going to be successful. But yeah, there's definitely
a lot of other things would
options.
happen.
Yeah, there's definitely options.
So when I was growing up, we had Bookmobile, and we also had the Scholastic Book Fair, which was basically a bunch of books that were spread out in the cafeteria, and you gotta go through and choose. And our question basically relates to what is your favorite? Was it Bookmobile Day? Or was it Scholastic Book Day? We're going to kind of do a round robin of answering, and there's no wrong answer. Kristen, what's your answer?
I had a couple answers because I was so excited, and it was all Bookmobile. So the Bookmobile, I don't have to choose or use my allowance because it's free.
Nice.
Also, the Bookmobile comes every 2 weeks, and Scholastic Book Fair was like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And it has stuff for everybody, not just kids. Sorry if I took all your answers.
No. I think
that's really well done. That's what we expected. That's what we expected.
That was all my answers. So.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. No, we didn't have a Bookmobile in my town growing up. I don't even know if we had the Scholastic Fair, but what I really remember is getting those little, it wasn't even a magazine, but the Scholastic book that you could order for them.
Yeah, and you
take
that
it
to
home.
Your parents, and you're
like, please,
I want all the
Mom,
books.
Dad,
Circle
can I get
your
this book?
top 3. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I remember.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, and that ink would just wash off if you weren't careful.
Now I had a Bookmobile come to my school, which was awesome. We did the Scholastic Fair every year, which both were awesome, but Bookmobile Day was by far the best because the big giant van would come to our school. It looked like the Scooby-Doo mystery machine, and it was huge and colorful, and I just knew that I was going to get something no matter what. Like you said, it was free, and I could pick whatever I wanted. So definitely Bookmobile.
I would also have to say Bookmobile. The coolest thing I thought was that you actually got to go up inside the Bookmobile. It was like another world because they would decorate the inside of the Bookmobile with like trees and the Amazon. It would kind of be like a different theme each time the Bookmobile would come back. And it was like, I didn't pay attention, but I knew it was something different, even though it was the same on the outside. So that was pretty cool. In fact, you gotta walk up the stairs, take a hard left, and then there's just an open array of books to choose from. So I would have to say Bookmobile.
And now I have some decorating ideas.
Oh yeah,
Amazon's gonna be first.
Yeah. We had planned on the Bookmobile being here as well as the...
Our ultimate thought was we would have the Bookmobile here and do the podcast from the Bookmobile. But we were 1 week too early with our podcast.
Oh, broadcasting live from the Bookmobile.
Yeah, that'll be the next one.
Cool.
But What's the date? The 11th?
It is next Thursday at 1:30.
So that would be August 11th.
The Bookmobile will be here if you want to get
be in our parking lot.
If you want to get a picture with it.
Yeah.
That's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's okay to say yes.
Okay.
I could probably sign you up for a library card too, but I don't know how we are on like checkout equipment yet at that time. So, but I could definitely get you signed up for a library card. Yeah.
So this is kind of like a trial run of just getting the Bookmobile out and
it's going to have the books on it, so we're going to practice with that weight.
Oh my gosh.
See what it's like.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll set up cones in our parking lot and like test you, see if you can back up into the cones.
We did practice with cones.
Did you do that? Okay.
At the mall parking lot.
Okay. Well, now it's going to be loaded.
I ran over a lot of cones.
No.
But that's why you're practicing, right?
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Okay, so how can we support the Bookmobile and this program?
Come and see me.
Okay.
So come and visit us. As soon as our stops and routes are set, the times aren't published yet. But when they are, they will be on our library website, which is mylibrary.org. Another way is that foundation that bought the Bookmobile. Mm-hmm. So if you'd like to donate money, the Library Foundation, you can link to their site also through that website.
There's other ways to donate. Isn't there like a trivia? And doesn't the library host a couple different things that you can donate to if you don't want to do a straight donation?
Yes. So the book fair is actually this weekend, but when this comes out, it's going to be past. This weekend is the book fair. There's one every year, and this year it's at the Family Arena. And then, the foundation does 2 different events, fundraising events. One is a gala, and that will be in September. Okay. Again, that information is online on their website. And the trivia night is, I believe, the foundation as well. And that's
trivia night. If you guys are into trivia,
it's super fun.
And then that trivia is once a year, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're reaching the end of the podcast, but before we sign off and get ready for the Bookmobile, if it's okay with everybody, and as we're asking questions, you guys at home listening to us, think about your favorite genre and your first book that you were read to, and then the first book you read. Okay. So, Kristen, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
So, my favorite genre is probably scary books.
Scary books.
Yeah, any sort of scary books. The first book I think I remember being read to was had a little baby on the cover, and it was a little golden book. I think it was like So Dear or Baby Deer or something.
Okay.
But my favorite little kid book that I remember reading was The Monster at the End of This Book, featuring Grover. And I think that may have instilled my joy of scary books, because it's kind of a scary book for a kid. Yeah. And I would like to scare myself. So,
Dr. Brad?
Yeah. And actually, we were talking about this a little before, and the monster at the end of the book is the one that I remember my mom reading to me. And she was very good at reading that book. It's very dramatic. And so she kind of made it like you get to the end. Even though I heard it who knows how many times, it was still exciting and like suspenseful. And you kind of just like, what's going to happen? But yeah, if you haven't read Monster at the End of the Book, you got to check that one out. I hope they'll have that on the Bookmobile.
It could happen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Even one of my cousins remembered me liking it so much that she bought that book for my daughter when she was younger. So, yeah, Monster into the Book. I really cannot remember the first book that I read. I will say now, in general, I like mystery. I guess you would call sci-fi or fantasy type levels. Yeah. I'm not on the level of Dr. Matt, but I do like that genre as well.
Yeah.
My first book, I feel like I was read by my mom. It was called My Mother is Lost. I keep forgetting the title.
Yeah, with the bird?
No, actually, that's a different one.
Okay.
My Mother is Lost is where this little kid is lost in this department store. But he keeps telling everyone that his mother is lost. So he wasn't the one that was lost. And they eventually, it's a happy story. They eventually find his mother. But
yeah, the one I was thinking of is Are You My Mother?
Are You My Mother?
It's
yes, I had to look it up.
Yeah.
I had to look up the title because I kept getting those two flipped. But yeah, My Mother is Lost. And then I remember reading as a child, Go Dog Go was my first book I could ever read by myself, and I took it everywhere I went, and it was awesome because I could read that book.
That kind of triggers my memory. That one, I was the youngest, and we had quite a few books like Go Dog Go and a lot of Dr. Seuss books. So I think one of those was probably my first book that I ever read on my own, something like that.
Yeah,
Go Dog
the
Go.
fish. One fish, two fish.
Red fish, blue fish.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Like as a young adult, like reading, or not young adult, but a teenager, sorry, The Babysitter's Club. And I passed that on, I passed that on to my girls here recently, and they've been reading those, and I'm really proud of them for loving the books that I used to love, so.
Did you have the board game as well?
I did not. I didn't know about the board game.
I think I remember my cousins having the board game.
Yeah, no, I didn't have the board game, just the books, but yeah, I remember reading those, and it's just really cool that I can see my girls, read those, and we can bond over that, and it's just cool, so.
I love that has had a resurgence, and they've made graphic novels out of some of them too.
I think there's a little show too that the girls have been watching, Babysitter's Club.
Yeah.
So.
And we love graphic novels on the Bookmobile.
Yeah.
That's
sweet.
One of my favorite.
Oh, and genre, I like everything, mystery, crime, drama. I love Stephen King. I love the scary books too. I can't read enough. I can't pick one, sorry.
Genre for me is sci-fi and bibliography. I love reading about people's lives. I love finding out the end of the story, if there's a surprise twist. Usually in sci-fi there's a whole bunch of them because they don't actually introduce all the characters at once. It's always the person that's like, you have no idea was even actually a main character. My first book that I remember reading was Berenstain Bears, and it's the one where the two kids go into the store and they're like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and like the parents are trying to teach them like, do you want it just to have it, or do you need it? Like, where's the differentiation? No, I don't know how to say that word. How do you differentiate? Right there.
Got it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Between wants and needs, and like being too greedy and being able to share with. It was just.
Was it like called
that.
Got the Gimmies or something like
that? Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
And then I remember really getting into sci-fi or fantasy. Mrs. Yeager read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to us.
Right.
Every day after lunch, after recess, to kind of calm everybody down. And it was 20 minutes every day, like every Tuesday or whatever. And I remember closing my eyes, laying my head on the desk, and listening to her read it, and my imagination would just build all the stuff that she was reading, and I thought that was the coolest thing, and I couldn't wait to get back to that next day. After that, I read Tracy Weiss and Margaret Hickman's Dragons of Autumn Twilight, which is Dungeons and Dragons, but it's Dragonlance, and that was back in, I don't know when, but it was actually a book that my brother, you guys know him, Dr. Josh, had that I was able to get, and then that just my book collection took off. I was just trying to find all the books, so I love books.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Dr. Matt,
everybody.
Do you know how large your book collection is? Could you start your own Bookmobile?
I couldn't. I don't have the necessary different genres. I really have a lot of sci-fi and bibliography, but not necessarily the other. I don't have any launch pads.
So it'd be specific. It'd be sci-fi.
Yeah.
And
that's
bibliography,
that's
Bookmobile.
What kind of people do you like to read about? I like musicians. I like reading about music.
I like generals and people that have made a true difference in how we perceive other people and how we treat other people.
Okay.
So I like that kind of like interaction. It mimics a lot of the stuff that we do here at the practice too. So it's pretty awesome. So that was the round robin. So you guys, obviously we can't hear your answers out there in the multiverse, but kind of if you want to talk to us when you come in and say, hey, I listen to podcasts, this is the genres I like, we can always forward that to our Bookmobile supervisor, our keeper of books.
Yeah, don't forget, if you want to find out if they're going to be stopping at a location near you, that website is mylibrary.org, where they can find the route.
And we are getting a new website soon, and they showed me I'm going to have my own branch page. So it's got a
Oh
little
my
truck
gosh.
on it. Yeah.
So you just
so I'm
you'll
hoping,
click on the tab that says Bookmobile.
I hope
Okay.
it'll have a calendar and it'll say our stops and times. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well, Kristen, thank you so much for coming in and doing the podcast with us. I hope that you had a good time.
I did. This was really fun.
It was pretty cool. For myself, Kristen, Dr. Brad Maurer, Andrew Knoll, if you have any questions, contact me at drmatt@mfwellness.org. See you soon.
A big thank you goes to Hug Monster Sound for all the hard work they put into making us sound so great.